Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel and welcome back to our What Is and What Isn't series, because today we're going to take on gray rocking. So let's talk about what is and what isn't gray rocking. The point of this series on what is and what isn't is there's so many people using this terminology. I'm seeing like TikToks that sometimes get it right, but sometimes get it really wrong. So I'm like, you already know what it is, and I'll take a minute to explain the is, but it's the isn't that sometimes is the more valuable lesson. So let's start by talking about what gray rocking is. It's sort of rendering yourself uninteresting, almost inert, flat, relatively non-responsive, simply answering the question at hand. It's a disengagement strategy, but it's a tricky strategy. Narcissistic people don't like it. And initially, when you use it, they will bait you, rage at you, mock you. Oh, look at you. So you've been talking to your therapist? They may even be taunting you to get you to talk, that kind of thing. The goal of gray rocking is to not get into the mud with them, and in an ideal world, they will ultimately get so bored of you that they leave. Now, gray rocking is meant to be a management technique if you have to maintain contact with a narcissistic person. If you have to go no contact, gray rocking is a way to keep minimum communication going. Now, there are limits to the use of gray rock. It's not the healthiest thing for children to see between co-parents, so this is why you should check out Tina Swithin's work on yellow rocking, which is meant to be a communication strategy which addresses that. It also may be limited in certain workplace situations, but it may work in others. It really depends on the situation. So I think all of you know what gray rocking is, but it's a confusing term. So it may be helpful to unpack what gray rocking is not. Number one, it's not stonewalling. Gray rocking is not the silent treatment, nor is it not answering the question. If yes or no will answer the question, then great, that's fine. If a few more words are needed, then use them. For example, if you are being asked where something is or what time something is at, you may need to give a little more detailed. Number two, gray rocking is not meant to be passive aggressive, which is never good, even though many people on the receiving side of gray rocking may experience it that way. It's just a yes, no, 11 o'clock on top of the TV, she's bringing one guest kind of answer. It's not meant to be a, why would I answer that question since I'm not valuable to you? Nor is it sulking or rolling your eyes or sighing loudly. Gray rocking is just the facts with no embellishment. Number three, gray rocking is not avoiding the question. Gray rocking is actually quite direct. They ask you a question and you answer it. And reiterating the first point, it's not stonewalling. If you ask where the remote is and you don't know, don't shrug and say you don't know. You say, if you know, it's on the coffee table. Number four, gray rocking doesn't mean you have to be hostile. You don't need to be clipped or abrasive or angry. It's just to the point. On the table, no. Okay, sounds good. It's not too sparkly, like, yeah, it's on the table, nor is it too angry. Oh, it's on the table. Just kind of robotic. Number five, gray rocking doesn't mean you aren't listening to them. They may talk for a while. Gray rocking doesn't mean you don't listen. It means you don't engage. You may nod your head. You may say yes. You may say no, that kind of thing. But you do listen. Now, gray rocking can be, honestly, I think it's a bit of a manifestation of all the don't go deep of it all that I push people for. Don't defend, don't engage, don't explain, don't personalize. And again, I do think that Tina Swithin's yellow rock method hits the mark better. Using a little more emotion, you can use a little more filler when you communicate that way. The appointment is at noon in the Main Street office. Thank you, it's a nice day today. No, I didn't get the milk, the roads were busy. Gray rocking is definitely a bit of an overcorrection in the disengagement that narcissistic relationships require. And it gives a template, and I get it, I get why it works, but you may need to calibrate it a little to make it work for you. But a gentle reminder here, with gray rocking, your narcissistic relationship and the problems in it are always going to get worse before they get better. If you can survive the escalation of their rage because you're not engaging, you may be able to gray rock yourself to the other side, but it's going to be a bumpy journey. The key is to be clear on what it is, tweak it to what works, but understand that gray rocking is not meant to be hostile. It's really meant to be a tightening up so you don't again go deep and get into the mud with them. Hope that clears it up, and thanks again.